All right. All right.
BS in Vietnamese chắc là bác sĩ mean doctor.
Oh,
Um, chào nhau, chào. Namaste.
the
As I promised, now I give you Matthew Joseph Villaka
full name.
from Canada to read for us. Today maybe chapter 3, 4, 5 in this book. Anybody have this book? Check it out. Open to the chapter 2 and listen to this beautiful, warm, and charming voice.
Chapter 3. We'll start on.
The
Chapter
book,
3.
book of revolution. Chapter 3.
Sit up here. Chapter 3. A lonely kid. I was a lonely child because I was brought up by my maternal grandfather and grandmother. I was not with my father and mother. Those two old people were alone and they wanted a child who would be the joy of their last days. So my father and mother agreed. I was their eldest child, the firstborn. They sent me with these two old men, my grandfather and his old servant, who was really a beautiful man, and my old grandmother, these three people, and the gap was so big. I was absolutely alone. It was not company. It could not be company. They tried their hardest to be as friendly to me as possible, but it was just not possible. I was left to myself. I could not say things to them. I had nobody else, because in that small village, my family were the richest. And it was such a small village, not more than 200 people in all, and so poor that my grandparents would not allow me to mix with the village children. They were dirty, and of course, they were almost beggars. So there was no way to have friends. That caused a great impact. In my whole life, I have never been a friend. I have never known anybody to be a friend. Yes, acquaintances I had. In those first early years, I was so lonely that I started enjoying it. And it is really a joy. So it was not a curse to me. It proved a blessing. I started enjoying it, and I started feeling self-sufficient. I was not dependent on anybody. I have never been interested in games for the simple reason that from my very childhood, there was no way to play. There was nobody to play with. I can still see myself in those earliest years, just sitting. We had a beautiful spot where our house was, just in front of a lake, far away for miles. The lake. It was so beautiful and so silent. Only once in a while would you see a line of white cranes flying or making love calls, and the peace would be disturbed. Otherwise, it was almost the right place for meditation. And when they would disturb the peace, a love call from a bird. After his call, the peace would deepen and it would become deeper. It would become deeper. The lake was full of lotus flowers, and I would sit for hours so self-content, as if the world did not matter. The lotuses, the white cranes, the silence. And my grandparents were very aware of one thing, that I enjoyed my aloneness. They had continuously been seeing that I had no desire to go to the village to meet anybody or talk with anybody. Even if they wanted to talk, my answers were yes or no. I was not interested in talking either. So they became aware of one thing, that I enjoyed my aloneness, and it was their sacred duty not to disturb me. So for 7 years continuously, nobody tried to corrupt my innocence. There was nobody. Those three old people who lived in the house, the servant and my grandparents, were all protective in every possible way that nobody should disturb me. In fact, I started feeling, as I grew up, a little embarrassed that because of me, they could not talk. They could not be normal as everybody is. It was just the opposite situation. It happens with children that when you tell them, be silent because your father is thinking, your grandfather is resting, be quiet, sit silently. In my childhood, it happened the opposite way. Now I cannot answer why and how. It simply happened. That's why I say it simply happened. The credit does not go to me. All those three old people were continuously making signs to each other. Don't disturb him. He is enjoying so much. And they started loving my silence. Silence has its vibe. It is infectious, particularly a child silence which is not forced, which is not because you are saying, I will beat you if you create any nuisance or noise. No, that is not silence. That will not create the joyous vibration that I am talking about. When a child is silent on his own, enjoying for no reason, his happiness is uncaused. That creates great ripples all around. In a better world, every family will learn from children. You are in such a hurry to teach them. Nobody seems to learn from them. And they have much to teach you, and you have nothing to teach them. Just because you are older and powerful, you start making them just like you without ever thinking about what you are, where you have reached, what your status is in the inner world. You are a pauper, and you want the same for your child also? But nobody thinks. Otherwise, people would learn from small children. Children bring so much from the other world because they are such fresh arrivals. They still carry the silence of the womb, the silence of the very existence. So it was just a coincidence that for 7 years I remained undisturbed, no one to nag me, to prepare me for the world of business, politics, diplomacy. My grandparents were more interested in leaving me as natural as possible, particularly my grandmother. She is one of the causes. These small things affect all your life patterns. She is one of the causes of my respect for the whole of womanhood. End of chapter 3.
That's it, I think like how many minutes did we do?